You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. Let me share some of the messages that you have sent in. Musa Bator in Kumasi says that our loss has nothing to do with what Kweku Bako and Ace are portraying. I did a scientific research and found, yes, he did a scientific research and found the actual cause of the defeat. It's the apathy created by the MPs and appointees. They lost touch with the grassroots, who worked hard for them to come to power, and we should have maintained the votes which we attained the last elections. That could have made difference. We learned our lessons going forward. Benjamin Osei Jamra in the UK says the NDC communicators who have started making demands from Nanado should know that he has not been sworn in yet. And when he is finally sworn in, he will deliver. I wish all Ghanaians a Merry Christmas. Ibrahim Kopa in Tamale says, there are a lot of reasons that resulted in this excruciating defeat. The NDC abandoned its campaign message and focused on the personality of Nana Addo, as if Nana Addo was Ghana's problem. Okay, Ibrahim Kopa. Dominic Nito says, hi to you. Oliver Bamba says the NDC lost elephantly because they used all their time and resources in assassinating the character of Nana Addo. Nana Boateng in Milton Keynes says, I think NDC lost because they had no coherence in their campaign. While some were saying JM Twaso for infrastructure, others were attacking the personality of Nana and Baumia. NDC had no specific information for the electorate. Okay, elaborating what they will do when voted into power again. Nana had a specific agenda for the electorate and kept on throughout the campaign. Thank you very much. And right, I've got some of your messages. I think I'll share them later. There's quite a load that you have sent in. And this show, as always. Okay. Just a couple more. NDC shot themselves in the foot when some of its members decided to shield Woyome, and the last straw that broke the camel's back was a recent contract they gave to Woyome, which justified their endorsement for corruption. Funny enough, voters were watching to punish them. They were waiting to punish them. This is Cecil Kwabena. He sent in that one. Paul Heheyi says Kweku Bako is saying ghosts don't vote. Are you saying we have ghost voters in the voter region and NDC strongholds? Kweku Bako, stop it.
I hear.
Eliasu Haruna in Tamale says that let the naysayers continue to be in their realm of skepticism. After all, these same NDC doommongers said Nana Addo could never be president. Nana Addo is here to deliver on his promises. Ghana is back to work. Kudos and congratulations to all of the team that did this work. Douglas Mireku Dankwa says Nana had 500,000 votes more. Why is NDC saying Nana didn't increase his votes? Did he say he had 500,000 more votes?
There's some fake figures going around to try to increase it to 1.5 million.
Okay, so check your records too. Then Stephen Sassy says, if we are saying the low voter turnout was due to apathy, are we then saying that our voter register was bloated? In fact, that's a major issue that somebody is making. Ooh, okay. So thank you. I think we can end your messages here and continue. Now, can we talk about the aftermath of the elections after the uncomfortable lead, cruising to victory, slightly ahead, and eventually conceding? The MPP and its supporters still went out on the rampaging, vandalizing property. We are told somebody even lost their life as a result of an argument between an NDC and MPP person. We are aware of the toll booth, Tema, which was being taken over, and the allegation was that it was the MPP, invisible forces that were behind. So, Dominic, I think this one I start with you. What's that? You win an election, and you still decide to go about beating your opponents and burning toll booths and seizing some of them.
Samson, it's unfortunate. First of all, let me use that word. That is unfortunate because some of our people want to justify what happened in 2008 to do the same thing. But there's a huge difference between the NDC as a party and the MPP and their leadership. And that's why the MPP leadership quickly organized themselves and released a statement to condemn it in no uncertain terms, to say that, look, we have a leader who's a true Democrat. He's not in the position of asking his supporters or urging his supporters to go out there and seize government property or attack anybody. Nanado is not like that. And so our communicators, who I can say were one of the reasons we won the elections, they did so much. They organized themselves, they were out there in the media, they were in the regions, they mobilized themselves, they were monitoring and did so much for this campaign for us to be where we are. And I thank them very, very much. Have a lot to do to portray that image of Nanado and let our supporters, our grassroots, know that if you want Nanado to deliver, and you want your party to deliver, and you want the people of Ghana to believe in your party, then you must look at the leadership qualities of your leader and mimic it. If it's difficult, at least look at him and pray for him to succeed and work hard for him to succeed and not do anything that would tarnish his image. So I'm even using this platform to ask all our supporters to stop that immediately. That's not the way of Nanado. Maybe NDC may have done it because I know clearly, like I said, I would have justifying what is happening. And I want to be very strong on that sentence, that with that trying to justify what is happening, I just want to say that some of our people are looking at what happened in 2008 to say that, look, we want to do the same thing. People were on the street seizing ministers' cars, seizing people's cars, even to the extent that they seized one bank manager car or something. Yeah, and Barclays MD. They formed themselves into Rambo-style groups, and they were seizing. You don't see that now. At least that has improved.
As well.
Yeah, you can see that is no more happening. People are not standing on the street and say, well, this is a give you car, so I'm seizing it. That at least has improved. But what has not improved is people, some vigilante groups or some people moving in the initial stages, and let's be frank with our own people, going to the toll booths and trying to seize them and trying to do that kind of stuff. But look, you remember what happened at Agbogbloshie when about 9 people were murdered, even Tamale, in Gushegu, where attended documents were taken, offices of the National Health Insurance, offices of school feeding, offices of Metro Mass were seized, youth employment. All this happened in 2008. NDC has simply forgotten. But the difference between the NDC at that time and the MPP is that they never issued a statement to condemn, at that time, what the boys were doing. But today, the MPP were very resolute and quickly. The acting national organizer did it, and all of us as MPs and people who are in leadership in the party have consistently condemned it to say that, no, they should stop immediately. And I think things are getting better. Even though I wish it had never happened. At least there would have been a big difference between us and the NDC. So after the NDC, they have no moral...
You seem to forget that even when you lost power, your people were still going around attacking people. And that you were forced, multimedia journalists were attacked, or Brasport. Some of them are still suffering today as we speak to you. Some are still in hospital over this. And the party was forced to go round media houses, Nana Komia and Co. And I think Ogoshi Sai Kofi, begging and pleading and apologizing.
That's 2008.
Yes,
no, 2012.
No, 2012.
No, I remember that.
You know,
I remember that.
And that's just the repeat you are seeing, isn't it?
I'm saying that I remember that. I remember that when people massed up at Obra's spot, some journalists went there, I don't know what happened, because the story is different. People say different stories. And then obviously in their anger, they attacked some journalists, and we have said that is, but it was not a countrywide thing. It was the people who massed up at the Obra Square that some people did that kind of thing. It's unfortunate.
One of my producers
and
is still in hospital because of that.
And I'm saying that you should let us know. We'll apologize to him, we'll work to him, we'll move with him, we'll try to see what we can do as a party to make sure that it doesn't happen. Of course, we're not happy that people, we are supposed to work with journalists, people like you and all the other media houses who are going to have a problem with any of them. We are not in that business to do that. But I'm saying that clearly, there's a bit of improvement on what happened in 2008. Let's be very fair with ourselves. But the difference between the two is that MPP is condemning it. And MPP never issued a statement in those days to say, especially national officers. No, MPP in 2008 never issued a statement or made a press conference to tell our supporters to also attack the NDC back. we never did that.
Okay, so on the note of what he just mentioned, and that's where he ends his comments, let's hear the NDC's national chairman, Kofi Potofi.
We are recording very worrying cases of violence by their supporters and activists across the entire country. An attack on Wofake, a popular actor who featured in most of NDC's adverts. Killing of NDC supporter Adum Kwanofin, the stabbing of an NDC youth activist at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, attacks on party supporters at Chebi in the Eastern region and in different parts of the Ashanti and Northern regions. The burning of toll booths in Fiapre in the Brong-Ahafo region and the seizure of toll tickets and monies. Shameful attack on Miss Bell at midnight by suspected members of the MPP carrying assault rifles and a video camera and demanding that she apologize to Nanadu for comments during the campaign. The residence of the mother of Honorable Benita Sena Okitidua, the Deputy Minister of State, who contested the elections, has been raided and vandalized and money stolen, properties and cars destroyed. She herself was attacked and her car stoned within 48 hours of her mother's experience. But we want to say in very clear, unequivocal terms that anybody who tries it after 7 January will not have it easy with the NDC at all.
All right, Dominic, just hold it. So that's Kofi Potofi, the national chairman of the NDC, flanked by other party executives, Kokua Idoho, Betty Muldridrisu, Ofosua Mpofo, and all of them. And he subsequently, explained that the party people are allowed to defend themselves. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely. I mean, in law, if you're attacked, you have every right to defend yourself. In fact, it is one of the few instances where you can kill somebody and get away with it. And so it is legal. And, you see, we still have a fundamental problem with, it's a mentality problem that we got to deal with in this country, where every change of government comes with a coup mentality. Because we're so used to changing governments through the bullet that we forget that this time we use the ballot. So, and it's not in the violence, it's in the attitude of the new government. And when we begin to see, or the incoming government, when we begin to see some of the needless wahala that's coming up in the middle of the transition, you begin to see that the mentality is yet to change. Now, this should never have happened. The attacks should never have happened. But I'll tell you what, on the night that the president conceded, I was playing band. I'd gone for a band rehearsal. You know me, I'm still a band boy. And we closed late, and I was driving through Zongo Junction to Accra, to the Graphic Road. I got stopped like 4 times, and these are excited people banging on the cars, but I knew that just keep your cool. If you roll it down, they might jubilate with you or otherwise. But this is the interesting thing, particularly between around Zongo Junction, Matayeko and Zongo Junction. One of the crowd was made up of NPP T-shirts wearing people and NDC t-shirt wearing people dancing to loud Onapo and banging on my car at the same time. Who was I going to blame? I just kept calm. When they finished banging, they put the tire in the middle of the road, they opened it, I squeezed through it, and I went home. But no party can have absolute control of its individual supporters in the midst of these situations. That is why the message ought to go out early enough that, guys, whatever happens with this election, celebrate, jubilate, but do it in good sense. Okay? Now, but my other question.
That message went out with Nana Addo's victory speech, and yet they didn't listen.
They didn't listen. So, but at that point, we ask ourselves, do we still have a government for the next month?
We do.
We do. Do we still have the police? Is there an IGP? Is it the case that the police were yet to formally recongregate after being dispersed for the election? Because then I expected the heavy hand of the police to come down on these situations.
They issued a statement warning people.
Yeah, but police issuing statements. Police, come on, you're not social media. You are law enforcement people, man. Get on the ground. Whip those guys into, drag them to jail. Put them before court. Let's put them in prison. Let's make an example. Impunity is not defeated by press statements from the police PR. That was weak, that was lame, that was tame when we expected spine. But largely, I think they acted, although belatedly. Let's remember that we are going to have, as long as the earth remains, there will be another election in 4 years' time. We expect our police to step up to the plate to bat. In anticipation of this, we can begin to identify possible hotspots. And my point is that it's not as if we don't know. 2 or so days before the election, the military sent out small, I don't know what word to use, to possible hotspots to help calm the place. That could have happened. So the MPP, speak to your people. If you win or lose, Master, it's not the end of the world. Stop this violence. But we must also point to one thing. Losing parties also play tricks with us. Now, I'm still wondering, I mean, the MPP guys mentioned Wofake. Can we see Wofake today?
Manasseh Azure went looking for him to speak to. Eventually, the story he came out with, obviously his family and other people around him denied that what he was saying could be true.
And the police statement on the murder is it doesn't appear to have been political at all. So, under these circumstances, the invisible hands, not invisible forces, stay behind and begin to pull puppet strings. And we ought to be very much aware of it. That attack on the toll booth was brainless, it was senseless, it was pointless. The toll booth does not, what do you gain from attacking the toll booth? You think if I'm passing by there, because you're there, I'm going to give you a CD. And what will a CD do for you, Ghanaian? Burning a toll booth is stupid. So please, but the parties, talk to your people. Let's stop this nonsense and let's live together as Ghanaians. But police, military, if these things happen, show why we pay our taxes to keep you in there. Show why we bought you those batons, and not for innocent protesters.
Now, before I take Kuku's view, let's hear what the police have had to say recently.
We are on cases like what happened at Fiapre in the Bronx region, where some people went and bent down the toll booths. In that case, 2 persons have been arrested and have been put before court. The 2 have been granted bail. We are also talking about Sankore or Kukum, where some supporters also attack supporters of another party. And then in that case, 1 person has been arrested and he has been remanded in prison custody. Then we are also talking about a case in Chifupraso, where somebody is alleged to have attacked a member belonging to another political party and inflicting wounds on the person. Then there was a reprisal attack from the victim's party, and 3 persons involved in this case, the attack and the counter-attack, have been arrested and they have been put before court. All the 3 have been granted court bail pending further investigation. We have also arrested somebody, one Al-Hassan Ganamati Atta, in connection with the death of another person at Dunkonofin. So in all, I can say that about 8 persons have been arrested in connection of in connection with these incidents across the country, and we are looking for the others. I will advise caution and advise restraint. It's not for them as a party to exact punishment. It is for the courts. And somebody may want to go their way only when the law enforcement agencies are not doing anything about their plight. But here is the case. We are doing a lot about it. 8 persons have been arrested, and we are going ahead to ensure that we bring every perpetrator to look. So if they try anything to go on rampage themselves, they will also be inflicting on the law, and the long arms of the law will catch up with them. So I will advise that they exercise maximum restraint and look up to the security services, and also assist us with the requisite information to enable us pick up perpetrators.
Okay, so that was the police PR head. Cephas Arthur is the one you just heard a while ago, and those pictures you saw of the NDC members who were on the street, they didn't cause any trouble. They were on the street to the president's home, as they had been directed by some of their party leaders upon the announcement that they were still cruising to victory and that they needed to.
Victory march required.
Yes, so they went to the president's home, and the president actually spoke to them there and promised at the point that he will accept the results no matter how it went. Let's hear from Kweku what you have to say about all that has happened. And of course, let's not forget that in some of the situations, the police went to find out that it was a hoax. There was this NDC parliamentary candidate who lost, this woman who raised an alarm, and they went and they were told that when they got there, she was doing makeup. Nothing was wrong.
Really? I didn't know about that.
Oh, I see.
The police didn't arrest her.
Yes, clearly there will be instances of such fabricated alarms, there would be. But I don't think we should, for a moment, deny that real instances of assault violence are taking place.
That's right.
And people say this is not a coup d'etat. Yes, it isn't a coup d'etat. In the days of the coup d'etat, this culture, we sowed the seeds for them. I recall we used to see people who go out chasing people out of the lodges and taking over the lodges, people burning markets, people burning down houses, even including state actors like soldiers demolishing houses because those houses were allegedly containing hoarded goods and things. That subculture, even in certain stages, were led by state actors. But those were coup d'etat periods. Look, let's be honest. This particular thing we are discussing have happened across the political divide. 1992, there were instances. You couldn't tell exactly the motives, but it did happen, if I recall, with the one Alhaji Adam Imoro, constituency chairman of the NDC. As to who did that particular thing, nobody knows up to now, because the police arrested 4 suspects. 2 of them were members of the NPP, 1 was a member of the NDC, and 1 had no political affiliation. This was the information the police CID director then, Mr. Kwesi Abua, put out on November 13th, 1992. So we've had that situation. Look, in 2001, it happened. To the extent that the NDC, on 3rd January, issued a statement. It was signed by Mr. Isifu Ali, and I have a copy here. This is GNA report, pleading with the NPP leadership to hold their members in check. Come 2009, you have a statement here, again, GNA report. Stop harassing our supporters. This is Nana Akufo-Addo. NDC elements when seizing toilets at Ashama. You have it here. This is GNA report, 13 January. As Ashama NDC takes over public toilets. It happened all the time. Both parties and their supporters have been involved. Perhaps maybe I shouldn't say parties, because the parties really don't launch and organize and sponsor those things. But
well, you know, a party leader has been mentioned, as in before the 2012 elections. Samir Oku has said that when we win, you should go out there, you know, take positions.
No.
2012.
You're talking about 2012?
No.
Yeah. That could have also encouraged some of these things.
I'm talking of official policy as launched and sponsored by a party.
Okay.
I'm not talking of individual party members, whether executive or no, who got involved. I'm coming there. Okay. I have some little points to make. So the first thing is to agree that this is a subculture of impunity that we all want to eradicate, and that it is not peculiar to one particular group, and also that it has happened almost all the times that we've had transition, particularly from one party to another. These are facts. Look, if you go to the place, Amansi, Amenfi Central, there's something happening there right now. Some people have been organized, they've gone into a concession of a mining company called C&G Alaska. They have burnt down vehicles. The police are aware. The security agencies are aware. That thing was done by NPP organizers in the constituency. And nobody's touching them.
They're burning down?
Yes. I'm giving you the information. Check. One Solomon Amwati is supposed to be the acting chairman and treasurer. There's Akwesi Atta of this constituency. There's Kwame Abebresa. There's Kweku Bedu. Then there's Adai Abu. I'm told his nickname is Coach. I don't know if
West.
Amansi, Amenfi Central. These are your members.
And when did this happen?
The last 3-4 days. They've been on rampage.
But Kofi,
let me tell you why.
You know that before the elections, the people there in that area had been complaining, and the allegations out there they were putting out there was that government had given that concession a forestry. They had given it out for chiefs, and that they wanted the place back. So when they won, that may have contributed to this.
Assuming without admitting what you are putting out is a valid point. Is the cure for it perpetrating violence?
Definitely not.
And especially by known party activists. So that's where the emphasis is. But I'm going to give a certain background and why I don't think it's to do with this so-called license you are talking about. Before the elections, on October 11th or 12th, the police conducted an operation in that place and arrested some people engaged in Galamsey. The people they brought to Accra for investigations, one of them was the NDC constituency chairman, Bibiani, called Sumaila Ibrahim. I have his police statement here. After that, he was bailed and let go. Nothing has happened. There are top NDC executives in the Western region who were involved in these Galamsey operations. The Ghana police are aware. And some of their party leaders are aware. So these MPP chaps, you see, the mindset is this. We have won. You have done enough Galamsey. You've made your gains. It's now our turn. That's what it is. So they have gone in there, invaded the territory to replace the earlier illegal operators. That's what it is. And I'm saying, I've mentioned these names. The Ghana police must proceed to that jurisdiction, identify these gentlemen and arrest them, charge them and prosecute them. I'm not sure the party will stand by them. Dakufuado, I know, will not blink an eye in support of these guys.
When it does appear that they have the support of the chiefs, who are also complaining
that
this
is a lie.
This is a forest.
Samson, I'm not sure you've done your homework well. We have. Indeed, the Tiger Eye group have been there.
Okay.
They have a documentary which will come out soon. But you see, let me be honest with you, is the intrusion of political elements, security elements, traditional elements, and some of the local opinion leaders.
Yeah, you have said this before here.
I'm telling you,
recently.
that is why we have been unable to deal with Galamsey.
Okay. So what do you say to Potofi? Then we'll move on to...
Oh, Potofi's thing, you see, yeah, he is. It just told you, yes, in terms of the law, you can defend yourself and things. I recall Nana Akufo-Addo. He was speaking in private, and somebody, of course, recorded it. And he was referring to what had happened to the rank and file in Akwetia, and was telling them that resist and defend yourself. It became all die be die, and Nanado lost a lot of mileage in terms of the propaganda assault on him. His was in private. Potofi holds a press conference and tells his people that defend yourself. It's another version of all die be die.
It's actually defense after 7 January. I wonder what happens between 9 and 7 January.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I missed that. But you know, I then recollected what happened in 1992 when this Kwesi meeting thing happened. Indeed, the Progressive Alliance, then made up of the Eagle Party, I think the NCP and the NDC, they held a press conference and actually asked the state to arm them, give them arms to defend themselves. Potofi comes from there. He's a block of the, a chip of the old block.
Okay.
So in actual fact, he's only reacquainted. But I thought that, you see, that thing they did was more of an internal re-election bid. Their rank and file are angry with them. All of them, their heads are on the verge of rolling. So this come out and say something to ginger your people, that you are prepared to protect them. That's what
Interesting.
NDC in government up to the 7th.
What is this fascination with toilets?
No, but the NDC
I don't get it. I don't get it. The NPP, NDC, tell me, what is the fascination with toilets and then controlling income
Okay,
from toilets?
let's
No, but just a quick one. On the military and police thing, I mentioned the police. A general just corrected me. If the police feel inadequate under these circumstances, they should make a request for military help. And the military will step in. They won't come in on their own.
Right.
But if the police request, they will,
I'm not
they
sure
will
they
do
will.
that.
This place I'm talking about, in the last 48 hours, I know complaints have gone to the police as well as the military, and they are not acting.
The military
because
can't act
they
until
say,
the police
no,
requests for it.
yes, but I'm saying
Because of
both,
complicity.
apart from the complicity, there's a certain inertia and fear.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm telling you.
You're right. The
Is
position-
it incoming government?
Yes,
The police is
They are
repositioning.
talking-
But that's the
It's
problem.
amazing.
That's the culture
Yes.
we have created for ourselves.
Yes, and it's amazing. I can't believe it.
All the road patrols disappear.
Interesting.
The
Yes.
police just went
let's
into
hear,
inertia.
let's hear, Amara. You have the last word on this.
They protected.
Well, the attacks and counter-attacks that have been reported, the president acknowledged during the inauguration of the transition team that there was attacks from MPP and from NDC as well.
A rude one. I just wanted to be fair to the NDC. In 2009, the NDC chairman, Kobnaji, actually also denounced the actions of his people.
Particularly the taking of the over toilets.
Take over toilets.
Thank you. Thank
The
you.
KPI
Right.
fascination.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, something. I do not think that we can equate what the chairman did when he called for self-defense to that of the statement made by Nanado as when he said, all die be die.
Why not?
No, you can't. In this one, he was not calling for people to go out there and attack others. What he did was to say, what he did was to say that if you are attacked, then you should defend yourself. Now,
The point is
this
that Nanado said the same.
this statement sits well with the laws of Ghana. Now, I have heard Nituwol make the point that in 2008 or so, similar things did happen. But we also recall when Professor Mills indicated that all government appointees, those manning government institutions, installations under the Kufuor administration, should stay, and nobody should attack them. Nobody should forcefully remove them from office. I remember that statement.
Before did say.
I remember that statement.
That is after he took over.
Now, you would also notice that the MPP during this period deliberately, and their supporters, I mean, targeted NDC people just because of the fact that they have won an election. They did not stop at that. They attacked state institutions. But was the call from Nana Addo and for them the MPP enough? It wasn't, because they kept on attacking and attacking people. You had the police administration, the police PRO, catalog the number of people who were attacked and the efforts the police has done to curb it. I just only think that it appears it's a cyclical thing. And being cyclical, it will take the two parties to, as it were, preempt some of these things during elections and talk to their supporters to avoid such acts. I think that if we are proactive and knowing that this is the feature of our election processes, and that chances are that after the results are declared, one group will attack the other, it is imperative that political parties begin to educate themselves, their followers, to avoid engaging in such acts. That, for me, will be the way to go. But to wait for the party supporters to engage in those acts before they come to speak to them is as if to say you've allowed the horse to bolt before you want to close whatever it is. So I think that these are all lessons for us. Next time round, another election will come. Let's begin to educate our followers to avoid such acts. After what has happened, after this election fever has ended, we will begin to mingle with each other. And I do not think that the best way to go is to attack your fellow before you begin to mingle with him. Okay. That, for me, would be a sad thing to do. But the call from our chairman is in the right direction. You should
attack them, people.
Is that what he said?
What did he say?
Open your ears well. Now, you will not, at the first instant, allow somebody to attack you when you have the capacity to defend yourself.
So where was Nana?
I am sure that on this platform, if you are attacked, I'm sure you will come out with some self-defense to protect yourself.
I didn't defend myself when you attacked.
You defend yourself. You see that it's going towards you. So you now know that you did by defending yourself. So it's a natural reaction that one will have to defend himself. And I think that what he said was just in keeping with the natural laws to defend yourself.
The police should just do their job.
Thank you.
The police should just do their job. It doesn't matter whether the person is MPP or NDC. The police should do their job.
All we have said is right, but we must address one thing. Why do our police forces feel a fear factor when there's a change? The confidence will have to come from you, the parties, right? Right from now. So there's a sense in which I agree with Amali, that don't just speak to your people, but let the police have the confidence in you that in the transition period, continue to do your work. Whether you like it or not, they are human beings. They're worried. They're thinking about their positions, right? And so, so we have to think about it.
So they have a fear that if they do their job and they get some people arrested who are MPs, someone will victimize them.
There's a policeman who said that he could not arrest somebody because the person belongs to a certain party. Wow. So it is the reality in this country.
Remember,
you see, yes,
the war.
It was the war.
We're going to eat the food of a mango.
It was the war issue. So please, the parties, can you assure the police now and going forward that you have 100% support? And that no police person is going to be negatively affected by the fact that you did your work and did it right. The police are human beings. They have a fear factor. They want to protect their jobs.
Thank you. Some interesting messages coming in here, and some of them are against you. AB. They say that you are one of those, you are one of the reasons they lost elections. Somebody, from NDC supporters, including from Tanko Osman, saying that please tell Amalba that I say he's one of the reasons we lost. Please do that for me. Okay, I've done it for you. There's one NDC.
I said that at this time, every reason can be attributed for the loss
including
of the party.
how hot the sun is.
Including how hot the sun is. So,
okay.
And you're really referring to people you greet in court. How low can you say?
Okay, I made that point for a reason.
Okay, now another NDC man says that you were adequately resourced as young men to go out there and work hard to get JM re-elected. You slept in the best of hotels, had access to all you needed to feel comfortable and get the work done. But you turned it out to be an opportunity for you to showcase your the rest of it I can't read.
Chop the money.
Not chopping the money. That some of them turned it. They became comfortable and they were rather running after girls rather than
but the same thing
concentrating on the campaign.
You read Chasing the Elephant in the Bush. So those were some of the things people were saying.
I'm saying that anytime. I don't think you did that.
We take a break here.
Did you chase girls with the money?
We take a break here. We return to look at the matters arising from the transition. We'll be right back.